students. I hope you all are taking care of yourself and also your family members. Just be at home and take precautions. And being at home, you must utilize this time. Okay, so we are going to continue the same chapter, that is microorganisms. And till now, we have understood lots of concepts like the meaning of microbes, types of the microbes we have, then how are they useful and harmful to us in the previous classes. And now today we are going to the next topic of the chapter, that is the meaning of vaccines and antibiotics will be done in a better way. And we'll also understand the meaning of food preservation, means how to preserve the food, store the food, so that we can prevent the food from being spoiled. So let's start the class. The topics we are going to take today: vaccines, antibiotic and food preservation. So very first, let's understand the meaning of antibiotics. So these are medicines that help stop infections caused by bacteria. So if any infections we have in the body because of bacteria, that can be destroyed or can be prevented, can be treated with the help of antibiotics. They do this by killing the bacteria or by keeping them from copying themselves or reproducing. So this is basically done by either killing the bacteria and second, stop them from being multiplied. So the reproduction or the multiplication of the bacteria cells will not take place in the body once the antibiotics are given to the body. And another thing you should know, the word antibiotics means against life. So any drug that kills germs in a body is technically an antibiotic. So you can say any medicine that can kill the germs, that is called antibiotic. But you should know only bacteria infections can be killed with antibiotics. So if any infection we have in the body because of other microbes, for example because of virus, if you get any infection, so that cannot be treated with the help of antibiotics. So antibiotic will not work against virus. So there are some antibiotics in the market. So you can just see the table given to you. One side the name of the brand and second one the name of the medicine or antibiotic in the market. This is just for the reference. Next we have vaccines. So read out. A vaccine is a medicine that trains the immune system of body so that it can fight a disease it has not come into contact with before. So the meaning is the vaccine is the medicine given in advance so that in future will not have any disease because of any microbes. So next thing is vaccines are designed to prevent disease rather than treat a disease once you have caught it. We have understood in the antibiotic. Antibiotic is given to the body once the body get infection. So antibiotic is to treat a disease, but vaccine is not to treat but it is to prevent so that the body will not get disease in the future. And how are vaccines made? So you can read out. Vaccines are made by taking viruses or bacteria and weakening them so that they can't reproduce or replicate themselves very well. So basically the vaccines are made with the help of microbes. So basically it is made with the help of dead microbes or the weak microbes. Means first the microbes are weakened and then they are converted into vaccines. Children given vaccines are exposed to enough of the virus or bacteria to develop immunity but not enough to make them sick. So children are given the vaccines and that is in some limited quantity so that it will just prevent the body or the children from getting any kind of disease in the future, but that vaccine will not give any disease to that particular child. So in general the child will not be sick because of vaccine. So working of vaccines, how the vaccines work. So you can read out, vaccines are like training course for the immune system. They prepare the body to fight diseases without exposing it to disease symptoms. So basically vaccines are just a kind of training to the immunity of the body. Okay, so we just prepare the body to fight against disease that may come in future with the help of vaccines. So when pathogens such as bacteria or virus enter the body, immune cells called lymphocytes respond by reproducing antibodies which are protein molecules. So the meaning is, when pathogens, means the disease causing microbes, will enter the body, then immune cells, that is the cells of the immunity system, will start producing antibodies, means some chemicals which are nothing but protein molecules, and these antibodies fight the invader, that is pathogens known as antigen, and protect against further infection. And finally, these antibodies which are produced by the lymphocytes will help us to overcome the pathogens which have entered the body. So injection of a killed microbe in order to stimulate the immune system against the microbe, thereby preventing disease, is also called vaccination. So this is the meaning of vaccination. So overall, if you see the working of vaccine, means once we have the vaccine in the body, now the cells called lymphocytes, which are the cells of the immunity system, they will start producing antibodies, and antibodies are nothing but the protein molecules, and these protein molecules will help us to fight the virus or the bacteria which have entered the body, and hence we will not get the disease. So our body in advance is ready to fight against any disease because of antibodies which are produced with the help of vaccines. And the process of injecting the vaccine to the body is also called vaccination. So vaccine and vaccination, they are not same. So this is just a chart given to you. If a child is taking birth, then every month there is some vaccine, and in a particular month a particular vaccine is to be given. So based on the research work, this is done, a chart is made. So just you can read out, like if a child is taking birth, that time 2 vaccines like BCG and hepatitis B can be given to the child. In 2 months there are many vaccines which should be given, can be given, like polio is there, hepatitis B again, DTP, and there are many other vaccines you can see. So next we have antibiotics versus vaccination, means how antibiotics and vaccines are different from each other. So the very first, the microbes they destroy. Based on this we have the difference. So in general we understood antibiotics kill the bacteria, and in some cases it can be fungi or protist also, and vaccines basically kill viruses and bacteria both. So antibiotics are not so helpful if we are affected by virus, but the vaccines can kill the virus also. How does it work? That is the second one. So antibiotics breaks down the structure of the bacteria, causing it to die. So overall the structure of the bacteria cells are damaged with the help of antibiotics, and the bacteria are finally killed. And vaccines stimulates the body to develop an immune response to kill the virus in the future. So we know vaccines are given in advance, and it give strength to the body by producing antibodies which help us to fight against disease that may come in the future. Third one, what is it made up of? So antibiotics are made up of various components, various chemicals can be used. and vaccines are made with dead or inactive components of a virus or bacteria. So in general, in vaccines we have dead cells of bacteria and virus, or it can be inactive, means which are not so active cells. And the fourth one, what are the side effects? So we know if we take any medicine, then the medicines can have side effects on the body. So antibiotics affects good bacteria and can cause fever, nausea and diarrhea. So because of antibiotics, even the good bacteria can be killed in the body, and we can have fever, nausea and diarrhea. And vaccinations, they have very few side effects, but still chances are there to get fever. So when the vaccine starts working in the body, the person or the child can get fever. That is possible. So these are the four differences we have. Next topic we have is food poisoning. So read out the definition. It is also called foodborne illness, is illness caused by eating contaminated food. So if any food is affected by the harmful microbes, and if you consume that food, then we can be affected. So our health can be affected. So this is called food poisoning. And infectious organisms like bacteria, virus, parasites, or the toxic substances produced by these microbes are basically responsible for the food poisoning. And we can have various symptoms because of food poisoning. For example, nausea, fever, dizziness, headache, abdominal cramp or pain, and diarrhea. So these are the few symptoms we have that can be there because of food poisoning. So we should be very careful about the food we eat and precautions to be taken care. Next we have steps to food safety, means to overcome the problem of food poisoning, what should be taken care. So main 4 steps are given. So very first, clean, means we need to wash the hands properly before eating the food. We need to wash the vegetables and fruits properly, because the fruits and vegetables can have the microbes. So we must wash them properly before eating. So this is the first method or the step. Second one, separate, means when we are going to the market, we can purchase the veg and non-veg products together. So they must be separated and kept separately, because the non-veg are basically more affected by the microbes. So that must be separated from veg products, otherwise all the products can be affected by the microbes. So even at home, when we keep the veg and non-veg products in the refrigerator, they must be separated properly. Third one is cook, means when we cook the food, it should be done at proper temperature, and temperature should be maintained so that the microbes or the harmful microbes can be killed, but the nutrients should not get damaged also. So maintain proper temperature, that is also important in the cooking of food. And fourth one is chill, means we must refrigerate the food properly, so that at low temperature the microbes cannot grow and the food can be prevented from microbes. So these are the main 4 steps we can follow. Other than this, we must avoid the street food, because we know street food are open to the atmosphere and they can be affected by the microbes, and once we consume those street food, then also we can have the food poisoning. So we must take care the food we eat. If the food is safe to eat, then only we should consume it. Next we have the food preservation. So now we should know how to store the food so that it can be stored for maximum time and will not be affected by the microbes. And this method is called food preservation. So it is the method or technique used to preserve food from spoiling. So to prevent the food from getting spoiled, the methods we use, that method is called food preservation. So different methods, let's take the example how to store the food and what are the concepts behind those methods. So very first we have freezing. So we basically keep maximum food products in the refrigerator. So the concept is, at very low temperature the microbes cannot grow. So if we keep the food products in the refrigerator, that can be stored for maximum time, because microbes will not be able to damage the products. So freezing is very important. Next we have heating. So another concept is, even at high temperature the microbes cannot grow or cannot survive. So we must heat the food product if it is possible. And the best example, we have milk. We boil the milk and then we keep in the refrigerator. So once we boil the milk, then the harmful microbes present in the milk will be killed, and then milk can be stored for maximum time. Then we use the refrigerator also. So heating and cooling both are the best methods we have, that we can do at home, and can help us to prevent the food from being spoiled for maximum time. Third, we have use of salt and sugar. So even salt and sugar can be mixed with the food product, and the concept is, salt and sugar basically absorb the moisture or water from the food, and in the absence of moisture or the water the microbes cannot grow. So lots of products are there in the market also, which are there in the container, and they are mixed with the salt or sugar, and that's why they are not able to spoil, because microbes cannot survive in the absence of moisture. And even at home the rice can be mixed with the salt, and that rice will not be affected by the microbes. Using oil, concept is, once we mix the oil with the food product, then it forms a layer over the food product, and once the layer is formed, then the food gets disconnected from the atmosphere. Means the food will not be in contact with the moisture of the atmosphere and also the oxygen of the atmosphere. And if food gets disconnected from the moisture and oxygen both, then the microbes cannot survive in the absence of oxygen and in the absence of moisture, and then food can be preserved for longer time. So the best example, we have pickles. If you see the pickles, they are mixed with lots of oil, and that's why they can be stored for maximum time. Even for 3-4 years the pickles can be stored in a container. Next we have by using chemicals. So different chemicals are also there, which are mixed with the food product, and these chemicals basically kill the microbes, and hence the food can be prevented from being spoiled. So chemicals like sodium benzoate and vinegar basically contain acid that can be mixed with the food product. So you can see the picture also. One side the product is mixed with the sodium benzoate, and another side it is mixed with the vinegar, and both can kill the germs. Nitrogen gas can also be used, because nitrogen gas displaces the oxygen. So oxygen can be removed with the help of nitrogen, and in the absence of oxygen the microbes cannot grow and cannot be spoiled. So the best examples, we have the chips packet or the different snacks packets we have in the market. They are mostly filled with the nitrogen gas, and that's why they are stored for maximum days without being spoiled. So these are the main methods we have that we understood. So the main concept is, if we want the food to be kept for maximum time without being spoiled, then we need to stop the growth of the microbes, and the microbes cannot grow in the absence of oxygen, moisture and proper temperature. So if the proper temperature is not given, if the moisture is not given, oxygen is not given, then the microbes cannot grow. So overall, based on these three concepts, all the methods are used so that the microbes cannot grow properly, and hence the food can be stored for maximum time. So now do the research work and answer the question, which is based on the preservation of food. So this method is called pasteurization. Another method which I have not discussed, but I want you to do the research work, find out the history of this method, the name of the scientist who discovered it, and how this method is helpful, means how does this work. So you need to define the method and you need to explain it also and get the proper answer. So we'll continue this chapter. For today the class is done. Any doubts you can write down, maintain the proper notes, and do the question properly in the notebook. So be safe and take care. Hari Om.